my stamping friends, this is Oksana from funstamper.com, and today I want to show you how to make quick and easy Father's Day or birthday card for a guy, and we're also gonna make a matching bag. We're gonna use a suited stamp set and bundle. It's on page 66 and 67 of the mini catalog. I remember when that catalog went live and we saw as a preview, I thought, oh my gosh, it's still, we have time to make Father's Day cards. It's still far away. I cannot believe that if I'm not gonna do them right now, it's pretty much gonna be too late. So we're gonna use designer paper. We're actually not gonna use a dies. We're gonna use just a stamp set that has really nice images. And if you just like the images, you could also go just with stamp set and fussy cut, but I absolutely love it, and designer paper. So here is a sample, and we actually made this card at my crafting happy hour. I gave everybody a choice to do a birthday card or Father's Day card. It's really simple card with funky fold. And you could see it's pretty much like a gatefold card, right? It opens in the middle, but it's not symmetrical, right? It's not right in the middle, so I like that effect. So let's get started. So supplies that you need. I have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 7. So this is, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. So you simply fold. Use bone folder to crease it, because it will require a little bit of holding. And other supplies that we're gonna use today, just simple pieces. This is our basic white for inside. It's 4 by 5.25. We have a piece of 5.25 by 2.5. So this has become our front panel. And we have a piece of 1 1/4 by 5.25 matching designer paper. You could probably use designer paper on both sides if you wanted to use that. I just decided to stamp. So let's start and decorate this particular piece. I decided to use that little bow, kind of stamp it randomly. What I will try to accomplish, if you could see what I did on this card, I really tried to make it kind of uniformed and symmetrical and stuff like that. Sometimes just my brain works this way. So let's just see if we'll just randomly stamp it other directions and see if you like it. If not, we could always restamp. So we're gonna just randomly stamp, because I'm still doing it kind of symmetrical. So it's fun to make it a little different. And like I always say, go out the edges. It makes kind of more movement on your card. I also wanted to stamp the bow inside. You're gonna have a little piece of designer paper. This is just a scrap. I believe it's 3/4 inch by 4. And I'll just stamp it and then glue it in place. All right. So now I decided I just wanted to add a little bit of color to those bows, and I'm using, still love the Seaside Spray, and the Seaside Spray is actually the one that matches the designer paper. That's why I'm using it. You could use any blue, and you could color as much or as little as you would like to. So I'm just highlighting some areas, and I'm probably gonna go with light one. Idea is I don't want it to color that much. Doesn't need to be precise. It's just kind of nice to have a little color. You could probably use this as a sponge dauber or something like that if you wanted to add like little sponging and color. You could definitely cut them from designer paper, and also die cut with a die if you have it, and glue it randomly, even in different patterns. Probably will be super pretty. But this one I decided I'm just gonna color in a light color. It's a card for a guy. I normally never do it over the top. I still love it anyway. And I know it's not easy to create card for a guy. I could just stamp with flowers and some other images all time, but glad we have a stamp set with the nice sayings and little bow ties and regular ties that could be incorporated to create cards for men in our life. All right, so we're done with that. So let's go ahead and glue it. I like to use my wet glue. This is what I always use. I think my favorite piece. You could use any glue you have. I always say whatever you have, just use that. So that piece gonna be glued inside, just a little bit over. We're just gonna cut the axis. And let's go ahead and glue it here. We're also gonna do a matching bag, so to put little gifts or gift card as well for that. So stay tuned. And the same color schema. Let's just glue this piece and piece of DSP. So this fold of card could be really fun to mass produce if you have multiples to do at the same time. It's actually going pretty quick. So here is my piece of that designer paper. It's gorgeous for the guy. All right, so here's your basic fold. Then what I have a piece of 2 by 3.5 of matching Night of Navy, and we're gonna go ahead and glue it, and I will use a tear tape here, so it's gonna be keeping our card shut. So how I will approach it, I will take the back of this and approximately where I wanted to have my flap, put another piece, just better go short than long, so it's not on your way, and you just glue it shut. And you could use other labels and stuff. I just felt that it's need extra piece of. Now you have this little closure. I use a label from Tasteful Touches, and this is where we're gonna stamp a sentiment. And I have a scrap piece of paper. I'll show you what we do with that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a stamp, and we will have a Happy Father's Day. And you could go simple and just stamp it in Cajun crease to kind of match the designer paper on the label. It actually fits really nice. And you could stamp it and add to your card. I decided I wanted to go one step further and have it kind of little popped up and have 2 colors of the stamping. So I'm gonna clean my stamp, and I will use Night of Navy, and on a scrap piece of paper, really I wanted just Father's Day stamp. So I'll try to stamp it kind of close to the line, so I don't need to do a lot of cutting. So I stamp that. Let's fussy cut, just use those lines as a guide. Straight line. You don't need the rest. And then you'll take mini dimensionals, regular dimensionals will work. Add a few of those. And you're gonna pop it on your Happy Father's Day. So this way you kind of have nice effect and a little bit of definition without too much work. I love when sentiments are in 2 colors. All right, So for here, I also decided I want a little bit of ribbon, something kind of hanging. Not even sure if this is a current ribbon or not, but this is what I found in Night of Navy. And I'm just gonna take 2 smaller pieces. And I'm just gonna glue it like so. This ribbon is a little bit bulky, so that's why I didn't fold it in half. It will kind of easier to do this way. And I just use tear tape and kind of secure it. And this piece, I will put dimensionals and glue it, and we have a card done. So now you have, just write a sentiment inside, and you have a Father's Day card. Here you go. Here is a Father's Day. This is what we did originally. I kind of like it more darker and kind of stamped randomly. And I use a smaller bow to stamp and use have a happy, handsome, and I use birthday from another stamp that is included here. All right, let's create a bag. How about that? So I'm not sure yet what will be my present. Could be some gift cards, could be some fun little stuff. I don't have the idea yet, but let's just create a bag so we have a matching piece. For this one, I took designer paper from this same pack, and this is just half sheet, 6 by 12. There is no measurements required for that. And here is my little piece at 3.5 by 3.5, and I did score it at 1/2 inch all around. As you could see, I snipped a line. It's kind of this, like you create a box. So this is whatever we're gonna create. It's called bag in a box. It's actually really quick to create. You could use a different size of base. I did it a lot, and it's my to-go design if I need something quick. So this probably you could do maybe 4 by 4, and it's gonna be fitting this piece, but I'm just using slightly smaller because we're working with a box. I like to use tear tape. If you have success with wet glue or Seal Plus, please go ahead and use those. Remove things, and you're gonna create box. You will not actually see it much, so even if it's not perfect, it's not a big deal. Okay, and so here's our base. So this is our box. So to make sure our gift bag is kind of nice and sturdy. As I mentioned, it doesn't need to be perfect. So I'm using this pattern, so I'm gonna turn it around. Maybe I want this pattern. Choices. Okay, let's do this. I could always redo it. And on the bottom, doesn't really matter where's the top and bottom because my paper doesn't have a directions. So, but if you have your paper kind of directional, you just put tear tape on the bottom. And you're gonna put it on one of the sides. Now you're gonna remove your tear tape. And you will start from one of the corners. So this is no measurements, no folding, but you just really need to follow the guidance of the bottom of the box and bottom of designer paper. So start kind of in a corner and try to align it, creasing it, and you start and see with the sides it doesn't have a tear tape. And you turn it and you keep moving it, aligning the bottom. Don't worry yet about anything else. Kind of, if it's not getting perfect, try to pull it and make it perfect. It's my fourth side, and then I'm coming back and I'm overlapping. So I'm worrying about bottom, right? I'm don't worrying about top yet. So after I glue it, then I turn it to myself and give it a gentle push and secure it on the back. Then with this side, I bring the two tops, like back and front, and kind of crease it with my finger. And I will take, you could use a small punch. Let's see what I have. I have crocodile. Hopefully it's gonna work. I use bigger punch, but we'll see. And you just make a hole in the center. And hole, you need hole to tie a ribbon. As we used this ribbon, and it's a guy card, you know, I would not do too much. I'll just tie a simple knot to give a back, to have a back shot. Plus I still will need to put a present, so. All right, let's quickly decorate that bag. Here is our bag. To decorate a bag, I decided to go with scalloped contour. This is my favorite dye right now. I just use it so much, different sizes, has a stitching. It just, for this particular purpose, it's just right size. Let's just do simple stamping. And as we had that little bow before, let's just kind of continue so our two cards are matching. So I'm gonna stamp bow on top and on the bottom. I'll go ahead and color it using the same blends, and we're trying to do little matching set. So I'm using Retired Seaside Spray. Balmy Blue will work. You could probably use something else. Kind of too much of paper. Or you could die cut it from paper. Just possibilities are limited, unlimited, whatever you wanted to that tag look like. It doesn't really matter, I guess, how you decorate. And for inside, for the sentiment, I'm gonna use a sentiment that it says world's greatest dads, one of the most of the world's greatest dads. So I think it's gonna be really nice for my husband. He's the best dad, the best husband you could actually wish for. So I'm a lucky girl and my kids are lucky kids. I'm gonna stamp and Cajun crease. You could die cut with the circle punches. I'm gonna use, or circle dies. I'm gonna use my punch that matches one of those. And I also already die cut slightly bigger circle. So we're gonna glue it. Oh, see, it's my reject on the back from other thing, and we're gonna glue it. So to kind of have matching piece, let's add a little bit of ribbon behind. So let's just kind of do it this way. And then we could do this way. Kind of idea to have it maybe a little bit shorter. I'm just eyeballing everything. No perfection needed. And as I mentioned before, that ribbon is a little bit heavier that I use. You could probably use a twine, kind of to add a little extra, and I'm just gonna hold it with tear tape. I often like to apply tear tape over the ribbon. It gives you a nice hold. After that you remove it and you could add your sentiment. We add our sentiment in the middle. We're gonna take our bag. I will add a few dimensionals. Lost my dimensionals. Give us some leftovers. And I'll add to the top. 2 to the bottom, and I will do 1 in the center. So it sticks. And we are almost done. Upside down. All right, here's our bag, and it's pretty decent size. It could put a lot of things, maybe even like little booze bottle and mixers and stuff like that. Some fun. And here's a card. So hope you like this project. Visit funstamper.com to see actual measurements and for more inspirations. Thank you so much. Bye.